Hello and welcome to this episode of CMPAC Spotlight. And for those of you who have been tuning in, you already know this is the show where we introduce you to many of our producers here on Access 21 and give you a little glimpse behind the scenes into who they are. And tonight in the studio with me is Mr. Jashun Gaddy. Welcome, Jashun.
Thank you. Thank you. Very nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, you're welcome. And this is not your first rodeo, not this interview,
no.
not the show you have
Nope.
done on Access, but even in college, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was a broadcaster major, class of '98.
Okay.
And in 2001, I actually suffered from a brain aneurysm during my senior year,
Okay.
which took me out for 3 years. But back in 2004, I returned back to East Carolina in fall of '05. I graduated and stuff too. So.
Oh, that's awesome,
Yes.
Jashun. That is an awesome accomplishment.
Thank you.
Especially after something as traumatic as a traumatic brain injury.
And
so-
actually, it's actually acquired because traumatic brain injury is when a blunt force hits the brain.
Okay.
Acquired is internal, so
Okay.
like strokes and aneurysms and stuff where the blood vessel bursts. Now that's acquired.
Okay,
and
well,
stuff too.
tell us a little bit more about that, because I'm sure there's several people in the audience
Yeah.
who are interested in that for one reason or the other. So tell us specifically about your injury.
Well, like I said, my injury, I was a senior at East Carolina during my senior year. You know, I was doing my internship at the news station during that time period.
Wow.
And that was, I don't even remember, there was the 9/11, remember that, when that happened?
Yeah, 2001, yeah.
And I was at the news station and I can't remember any
Wow.
of that. Yeah, my mom was telling me, I was telling her about what was going on in the news station, but I don't remember any of that. But that semester, I was taking 5 classes, doing my internship, vice president of the NAACP, secretary and treasurer of my fraternity, you know, Alpha Phi Alpha.
Okay.
You know, and
Hey, fine. Yeah,
yep.
I know.
And my junior semester, spring semester, I made a dean's list.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
And so,
And so during that time period, I was having a lot of signs that I didn't know anything about. Like one of the signs was, I think somebody told me I was getting a lot of headaches. I just take up aspirin, pop it in, and keep going, you know, because I always had headaches a lot when I was a kid.
okay.
And then the summer before I returned back to school, I had a physical and everything. But you know, they don't check the brain, you know, anything with MRIs at the physical, you know. During that summer, I was working at the bank, and I think I got in like a little car bumper with a woman, and my mom reminded me that the woman said I was complaining a lot about headaches during that time. And then when I went out to school, I went out to eat with a lot of my friends, and I got sick and I threw up. I thought it was food poisoning, but
Wow.
that's another sign of the aneurysm.
Wow.
And so the night before it happened, I was out at the club with some friends, and they said that I was complaining a lot about headaches.
Okay.
And so I left early and came home. That Sunday, after one of my meetings, I think it was NAACP or fraternity meetings, I was in my apartment with 2 of my other friends. And my homeboy said, well, I'll go pick up the car. You, my other homeboy, you stay here, and then when you come back, I'll scoop you up. In that time period, that's where I fell out.
Oh,
They
wow.
thought that I was playing around because I was a jokester and stuff, but nuh-uh. And
Not
so
this time.
Chris came and he called 911 and took the necessary procedures like the CPR or whatever, and that's when they came. The ambulance came and stuff, and then the word got around campus, and
Wow.
and it's kind of scary because the thing is, that was Greenville is like 4 hours from Charlotte back then, and so you know. And so it wasn't until like early morning, like 6 o'clock, before my mom and dad actually got
to your school. Wow.
And stuff. And so, but as far as the support of all my classmates was there.
Did you say this was at the beginning of your senior year, or was this in the last semester?
It was during the fall semester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the beginning.
Yeah, I think like October, the beginning of October, like the 3rd or the 6th or something.
And so obviously you left school to recuperate.
Yeah, I didn't even know what school was. When I woke up, I was in a coma for 30 days.
Wow. Did you remember anything prior to that? Did it come back slowly?
It came back slowly, but it didn't. I didn't even know the fundamentals of what it is to live. I mean, I had to learn how to talk again. I wasn't able to see. I had to wear glasses. I wasn't able to talk. I wasn't able to move. I had all these cords in me.
Wow.
I mean, I was a vegetable, you know.
Okay.
And I wasn't able to respond. And so some of the therapies I was like in-house. I was in-house for like, I think 3 months, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, and then during that time period, I had like 3 sessions of speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapies 3 times a day.
Wow,
yeah,
wow.
So it was.
You're a fighter.
Yeah.
I can tell now. I didn't know you then, and then from what you're telling me back then, you were fighting.
Yes.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So how did you fight your way back into video and film production?
So, like I said, I graduated in fall of 2005 from Greenville, East Carolina. And so then that's like, okay, so now so I'm working back with the vocational services, because vocational services, they have like a plan that they set out as far as, you know, with each client. And so the next plan was, okay, he graduated, so what's next for him? And so my next feat I wanted to do was drive, because with driving you can have other avenues to do other stuff, you know. And so I got enrolled in some driving courses, and I tried the regular car, the regular pedals. I wasn't able to do that at all. I couldn't even get in the parking lot. And then and so then I tried the hand controls, but that didn't work. And also effect of my brain aneurysm was I have drop foot on my right side of my foot.
Okay. So meaning that you have a limp?
Yes, a limp, and the right foot is not mobile. I can't flex it up and down.
Okay.
Which is why I have to wear a brace or a walk aid.
I see.
Yes.
Well, you do a great job. And of course, this right here just shows us the necessary components that are going on in the brain, telling the rest of the body what to do whenever you want to do it.
Exactly, yeah.
And so you're obviously telling us that affected your right side, particularly your leg, your right leg.
Yeah, right foot. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, of course, it's just the mental, I guess, fatigue too, you know, the short-term memory loss, you know, can't remember, you know, things. You go in the kitchen and then forget what you're going to get. And
Jay Sean, everybody does that.
Yeah, but that's like a regular. That's like.
But I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and stuff too. Man.
Yeah.
Just, you know, just a lot of little things where you're walking and then you're just like.
I have that same. Yeah. I can relate. And everybody, I think, is like, wait a minute, let's go back and trace our steps.
Exactly.
So we can relate to that aspect.
Yeah.
But with you having gone through so much, and like I said, it just seems like you are a fighter.
Thank you.
And fighting back is awesome. It's such an awesome example. That's what you talked about on one of your shows, right?
Yes, and it's great that this station was actually one of the first steps after once I got with my vocational counselor and we're trying to figure out what to do. And so I think I attended one of the orientations. This was back in 07, 08 or
wow,
whatever.
okay.
So I've been with the station on and off for a long time.
Yeah.
And so and then I love the station because the support is just really, is genuine. You know, it's such a it's a smaller environment, and people are really, everybody here is serious about that. They're not here just to waste time. They're here because they want to do something. They want a show. They're motivated, you know?
Right.
And the passion that the people have, it kind of matched my passion of what I wanted to do. And so, and like I said, my goal, I always wanted to become a movie producer.
Really?
Yes.
Jashun, I didn't know that.
Yes, I always wanted, that was what I went to school for.
Okay.
I wanted to do that so bad. And so when my injury happened, it was like, okay, you know, like there's no way I can even get, you know, even phantom how I can get connected into that industry again. But it's so kind of funny because even during that time, within my first year of my after my injury, I was a part of a lot of projects, for like video projects for like hospitals, or I may speak at conferences and stuff too. But one of my first video projects was I was a leg model.
What?
Yeah, I was.
Look at you.
I tried on different casts. I mean, different braces.
Oh,
like
okay.
Foot braces.
Okay.
You know, the support, and I would walk in and stuff too. So
making that work for you,
yeah.
right? That's
Yep.
awesome, Jashun. And so I do believe that you showed me something from your Facebook page that was actually from back in college. Was it a music video? I'm trying to remember now if it was a music video or something. Did you do music videos in college?
I think I think I did one for one of my projects or whatever. You know, like I know one of the projects. This is before my first run. You know, I had like a project called Love 'Em or Leave 'Em.
Okay.
It's like a spin-off of that dating show and stuff like that. And then but on my return back, I was actually producer of two different event programs. Well, documentaries. One was based on the Black Greeks on East Carolina campus.
Okay.
And the other was called Jashun's Journey.
Wow.
And that was basically about my return back to college and how being a brain injury and how it affected and stuff too, and just how it, you know, how I dealt with that.
That is so awesome. Any chance we're going to get to see that on the station?
Yeah, sure. It's on my Facebook. I mean,
I'm talking about here on Access 21. You're going to air it here?
Yeah, sure. I can air, like I said, maybe I could even include it on my next episode of my special, The Voice of Brain Injury.
Well, let's talk about that because you said you came back to Access 21, or started with Access 21, I'm sorry, in 2007. All right, and then you took a little break, kind of like you took a little break after school, after your injury, and then went back to school. But you started with Access in 2007, and what was that show called?
Well, actually, I was just doing classes and helping out with with shows and stuff.
Just trying to get your feel back, get your legs back.
During this time period, I was actually started with my internship at the Intercom.
Okay.
Across the street, you know.
Okay.
And which actually turned into a paid job.
All right.
You know,
Excellent.
so that was good. And so, but me being at this station was throughout everything. It was on and off. And
Okay,
so
right.
I think when the producer aspect came into play was a couple years ago when I took the producer's workshop.
Okay.
And then I was like, because everybody I talked to, I told them about myself, and they're like, you should produce a show. You produce a show. And I'm like, I don't want to. And, you know, and then I kept on hearing it. And then it was just like, you know what, maybe I need, you know, and so it just kept on getting put on a burner. And so I was like, well, I could do a show about, you know, promoting my friends, because I had a lot of friends that got different businesses and stuff, and kind of talk about, you know, some of their, you know, achievements. And then a few things happened that made me take a look at maybe I need to educate people about brain injuries.
Okay.
You know, about what some of the things that I have to go through, and to just empathize with a lot of the struggles that you may take for granted,
Right.
or that you may
Right.
forget because you just see the old me. But I may have improved, but I'm still
You're still dealing with the
right.
after effects of your
Exactly.
injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so I was like, you know what, let me do a show about, and at first it was I had more of a defensive standpoint because I was just getting fed up and stuff. And so I was called like, it was kind of like the misconceptions of brain injury. And then I had a break, and the longer I had, the more I was able to kind of come from more of a, okay, it's not so personal now,
Right.
let this be more of an educational and not as a rebuttal or like a sounding board, like,
Right.
y'all need to do this, stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
and so I was like, the voice is kind of because I had like tons of friends, and we kind of like, people don't really take us seriously.
Yeah.
And we had to have somebody to have a voice, and so.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you are absolutely giving a voice to everyone and anyone who may have had an injury, whether it's the same type that you had,
Right.
or something totally different. But it puts people in a situation where they are underestimated, would you say?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. It's just like, just doing this and just kind of like blowing people's expectations of me out of the water. And it's just like, I remember friends and family, a lot of friends, and I know they're coming from a good place when they said, you're doing great. I wouldn't be able to do that if I were you. I'm like, but I knowing you as a person, you would, because you're not one to lie down and just suffer. But I get what they're trying to say. They're trying to console me a little bit.
Right.
But it's like, don't shortchange yourself either. You
Right.
know.
And don't pity you.
Yeah. Don't pity me. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's awesome that you're doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
Before, during, and after.
Exactly. Yep.
Different things that you've gone through.
And it's just amazing. Like, it's so funny because through this injury, everything that I worked for came into place.
Really?
I mean, just a lot of things. I mean, I was a feature on a police training de-escalation video.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that once before.
Yep, and that was cool. It was a video that the vocational counselor at Carolina Rehabilitation out Atrium.
Right.
She asked if because she know I do a lot of video projects and stuff too. So I was asked to do that, and that was in Raleigh. So, and it was fun. I had, it was really fun. I can, get to act or whatever, get my little, angry side out,
Right.
my aggressiveness and stuff.
And your acting skills
Yeah, my acting
too, because you
skills,
want to be
too.
in
Yeah.
movies and
Yeah.
produce movies, and so that was like accomplishing several goals.
Yeah,
That video.
And I think it was good because, like for all my family and my close friends and
Yeah.
my friends, they see it and they love it, but they laugh because they just know I'm not like that.
Right.
But for people that don't know me, it's like, well, it's kind of like, kind of intimidating, because, and I think about it now, and I don't want to go off a subject, but it's kind of like the things that I was doing in that video and the way that the police is doing it now, it would not fly. And the thing is, the policemen now are not showing those tactics. They're not doing those tactics.
They're not applying what they should have been teaching in that video. Is that what you're saying?
At all, no.
Wow.
I mean, because if people were doing what I was doing in that video, yeah, especially if people are getting killed for for smaller, you know.
Yeah, well, I wanted to kind of clarify what you were talking about when it came to the video, because you said that you got a chance to act in the video and to kind of simulate de-escalation in the video, but you weren't really even talking about brain injuries, were you? Or was it de-escalation just across the board?
Well, this was de-escalation when it comes to people with a brain injury.
So it did pertain to brain injuries?
It did.
Okay.
It did.
Okay.
And, you know, and there was a couple other people that also talked about their experience with, you know, policemen or security people as well. You know, like there was one time a couple years after my injury where I was out uptown with a couple of my friends, and so I think one of them was going to pull the car around, you know, so I didn't have to walk or whatever. And so I was waiting, and I don't know what happened to my cane or whatever. And then all of a sudden a security guy came up to me and was like, "Hey, you all right?" And then this is when I was early on, and so my speech was, you know, very, very choppy and stuff. And so, and then when I saw him, I got even more, you know, frazzled. And so I wasn't able to really get the words out.
Oh, wow.
And so basically he was thinking I was intoxicated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so shortly after my boys, they came and they like, yo, he has a brain injury. You know, he has a brain injury.
Okay.
And stuff too. And so that kind of helped out. And so that's what, and so that brings back a lot of stuff that came with that de-escalation, you know.
That's amazing. There's a lot that goes into what we're talking about when it comes to the police interaction, and of course with your injury, of course with being an African American male, and there's a lot of things I'm sure you've experienced even before your injury that may have given you some insight in terms of how you interact in society, especially with the police.
Well, actually, you know what? I didn't really have anything.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good to hear. Very good to
but
hear.
like I said, I had my injury when I was 21. I'm 40 now. You know, so that's almost half my life. You know, too. So
absolutely. Well, for people who have had traumatic brain injuries, I think Keith Lamont Scott, you know, the gentleman who was killed by police officers in 2016, that issue has come up. Have you done any more videos that would kind of build on that situation?
I think what it is that they decided to create a newer de-escalation shortly after that situation happened, because I know the vocational counselor, she was kind of kidding around. She's like, yeah, because they need to update their video really, because the person in the video had feathered hair. So like, yeah,
feathered hair from the 80s.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's definitely the time to, you know,
to update.
Yeah, to make something new.
Are you going to be a part of it?
Oh no, I remember I was in it.
Oh, I thought you were saying that the older video, there was an older video that you were in with the feathered hair, but what about the one that needs to be updated?
I was in the one that was updated, but they had the a couple years ago.
Okay.
And so, but they were saying because the old one, that one they had was so old, it was like 90s or whatever and stuff.
Okay.
And so I think that they decided to do an update of the de-escalation because of that case.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to some of the things that you're going to be doing, maybe some of the movies that you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
You've been interning at Access 21.
Yes.
And so adding that to your list of many things that you have done, talk to us a little bit about your plans.
Well, I think my plans right now is just to take advantage of the opportunity that I have interning at this station, because it's like perfect timing, you know, because of the corona. I was, you know, I'm not able to return to either both my jobs at the radio station or at the CPCC.
Okay.
You know, and so this was like a great opportunity for me to be more involved on a regular daily path and stuff too, and just to learn some of the many things, and especially since the station has evolved, so with a lot more equipment and technology and stuff, with like the Final Cut Pro and everything. It's just so, and to be able to kind of get a chance to get my hands on without it being in a class environment, and to actually have a one-on-one chance to kind of get the feel of things, stuff too. So, and me being over the station and closing up and stuff too. And then I'm actually one of my projects is making a promo on video on demand.
Video on demand, yeah. They can pull up your show, your special, if you indicate that's what you want to do. So yeah, that is going to be great for the audience to know about. Yep,
and I know, because I know a lot, especially in my demographics, with my group of brain injury people, we may kind of forget sometimes, and stuff. So with video on demand, you can always go back and watch at your own leisure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Jashun, I'm so glad that you are doing what you're doing, and it makes it seem like for those people who make excuses, they hopefully will see this and recognize that they need to step it up.
Right.
What would you say to anyone who wants to get into this industry, whether they've had a brain injury or not? And then what would you say to those who may have had some kind of injury?
I would say to people that wants to get in the industry, do not get discouraged. You may have to go all around the world to get to one spot that may just be an internship, but it's worth it. And the thing is, it really is about connections too. And so how you treat people, and if you show people that you're engaged, or that you're curious, or that you're just really hungry for it, that's the thing. I mean, that's how I got my internship at the radio station, and which was really wasn't really supposed to be an internship because I was already a graduate.
Okay.
And so they took me as a special case.
Okay.
And so because the programming director, Carl East, he saw my love and he was like, this guy, he gets it, and just his motivation. And so he's like, you know what, I will. And so that turned into a job.
That is awesome, Jashun. Well, I'm excited to know what you're going to be doing in the future, and glad you were here today, and glad that all of our audience got a chance to, hear your story, a little bit of your story, and be standing by to see exactly what you're going to do in the future.
Yes.
So thank you. Thank you.
All right.
All right. And you guys, thank you so much for being here as well. And we hope that you will consider coming down to Access 21 and becoming a producer yourself. You've heard Jashun's story, and so let's hear your story. So we'll talk to you the next time on CMPAC Spotlight. Have a great evening.